Oh, Pandora has new songs. Oh, I gotta press it. This show's brought to you by socialism.
You see, Eric? Eric has a nice potato basket. That's our potato basket now.
I vote now that it's our potato basket. And that's democratic socialism in a nutshell.
Oh, man.
Take that as you will. Let's start the timer. There we go.
Oh, good, because I've already started the recording.
Timer started.
The first thing we got on the microphone is this podcast is a socialist podcast.
We don't even need that intro clickbait clip. We can just wait and then play those. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, we know when it starts. The audio in the headphones changes when you press the button.
Oh, really?
Like you can just. It's like a small difference, but you can tell.
Oh, nice. That's kind of cool.
Well, I'm glad you can tell.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
You gotta have those attuned senses, Tyler.
Dude, I'm so tired right now.
Do you want to tell the people why you're tired, Tyler?
Because yesterday was ballin'. Ballin', boy. No, it was 4th of July yesterday. It was off the chain. And we had a very full but awesome day. And it was really cool.
It was very nice, actually.
Yeah, it was a great day. We got there was like a lot of stuff. Like I didn't expect the jam session that came out of yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I did.
Yeah, well, you did, but I didn't know. And so all of a sudden we're all just hanging out, and then there's like a full on jam session going on in the living room, and I mean full on. Me and Benji were like looking at each other like the cops might get called, and if they do, Benji was like, turn on every camera.
Grab all the cameras. I was like, listen, if we're going to get the cops called on us, everybody has to grab a camera.
Listen, if there's one day that the cops won't get called for noise pollution and noise complaint, I'm pretty sure it's 4th of July.
Fair.
Yeah,
but I got sketchy neighbor to the right. Well, I said it to Rachel like one of the first times ever. Like once we started like figuring out like who they were, I was like, hey, listen. Good news is we won't have to worry about having them call the cops. If anything, it's gonna be the other way around. Yeah. So we're cool on that side, and my Portuguese neighbors on the other side. They're cool. I talked to them the other night too, and the guy was like, "Hey, you know what? I respect you. I hear you jam over there sometimes. Hey, listen, you want to hit that drum set at 4 o'clock in the morning? I gotta work for 5. It's okay. You go and you bang on the drums. It's but I don't hit the
Yes.
Obviously, I don't play drums at 4 o'clock in the morning. But he's like, hey, I respect it. It sounds good, man. What you need to do, I don't care how much noise you make. You know, you just live. You be happy. You be free. I mean, maybe he was getting primed for 4th of July because it was July 3rd. You know?
America in a nutshell, like
standing there with a Budweiser in his front lawn, American flag on one side. I mean, this guy has American flag on one side and Portuguese flag on the other. Yeah. And standing there with the Budweiser. Hey, pa, you do what you want because this is America. Thank you.
He's the person at the party who's like, I'm just happy to be here. Like, he's not like, please don't kick me out.
Well, yeah, right. No, but he's cool too. But in fairness, like I remember first day I slept at my house. He works construction.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
No. Wow.
This show's also brought to you by Stereotypes this morning.
Well, you said he woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, he's not like just going to go to the bank at 5 a.m.
It's fair. So
maybe he has a podcast, Benji.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I'm stereotyping. I'm sorry.
So in the morning, like he starts his truck in the winter because he drives a company pickup truck and it's diesel, so you gotta warm it up. And dude, like 4 something in the morning, you can hear it like bouncing off the windows. I'm sleeping in my living room, so that's even worse. It's like, oh man, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah. I remember another morning I worked for overnights on Friday. I mean, I was woken up bright and early, 6 a.m. This dude had like 4 dump trucks worth of, I mean, full size, like 10-wheel dump trucks worth of, I don't know if it was dirt or water or what, but it was
water.
Well, they got a pool.
Oh, I was like, because who imports water? Okay, it makes sense.
Listen, so Manny calls up João. He calls up Ricard.
I won't bring the water, guy.
If I bring the water, I don't pay for the water.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I mean, if I'm worried about like noise with that dude, he like cuts concrete at like 6 a.m. sharp in his backyard. So
Fair enough.
I think that was kind of like the leverage of like, hey, pa, you just let me do what I want.
Yeah.
And unless it becomes a real big problem, we're cool. We're good.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, we were sitting in the backyard at one point, and I think you were in the house, Tyler, but we were sitting in the backyard, and that same neighbor, I'm assuming it's the same guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just in his backyard, and when I tell you, he has the ideal like Portuguese American accent I've ever heard.
Yes.
Oh man, I was he's like yelling at his kids that were in the pool. Hey pa, hey listen. Oh yo, I was crying.
It was actually
laughing.
really funny. It was.
If it wasn't illegal, I just wanted to turn the camera on and like hold it over his fence, just like.
Speaking of the camera, we got a lot of good footage yesterday. That was fun. I got a lot of footage of Eric eating.
Mostly watermelon.
Really close up to Eric's face,
Yeah.
eating watermelons.
I don't know. I can't get used to like me just going to take a bite and then like in my peripheral I just see Benji running at full speed with a camera and just right into my face. It's like yo.
I think the only thing that would make that better is if you had like a serious mustache. So you're sitting there like eating the watermelon. It's just like dripping out of the soup strainer mustache.
Eric's got to step up his mustache.
Oh yeah, it's growing in now. I haven't seen my barber in like 3 weeks. I hope he's back from Cape Verde.
You
Anyway.
haven't seen your mustache in like 3 weeks either.
Wow.
Talking about mustache,
Wrecked.
dude, that serious adult film mustache that my
yeah,
friend
yeah, yeah.
Scott's rocking right now.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, you guys saw him in demo 2 of
This would be
the cooking show. I think he still had that mustache back then. I don't know what this dude is doing. He does some of the most outrageous stuff. Like sometimes he comes to work and he's like, you know what my favorite haircut is? And he'll do it every like 6 months. He's bald by choice.
Oh, nice.
Like so he can grow a full head of hair. So what he does is he will shave the horseshoe ring, like I'm going balding haircut, and like come to work with like a ridiculous mustache and like. And just like the fake bald man haircut, and he's like, yeah, I make the bald people jealous because they're like, wow, he's bald too, and then they see all the stubble sticking out. It's like, oh,
See him 4 days later, like he was lying.
That's something. That's an interesting concept. I'm gonna lie about being bald. Like that's like your life. That sounds legit.
Yeah, it's got super legit, and I'm so grateful that actually I could get everybody sitting down yesterday. We were talking about the impromptu jam session. My friend Mike, my friend Scott were there, so it was me, Scott, and Mike, and we were jamming, and it kind of led to the birth of the soundtrack. Where I mean, I've been talking about the concept, but now that I started to solidify some musicians, that's going to be really cool, and we'll definitely get that going soon. We talked about practice schedules and
Yeah,
things
it's gonna
like
be
that.
cool. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, it sounds legit. Like I'm not one to play musical instruments. I've never been. So like to see something like that happen. And side note, I knew drums were loud. I didn't know they were that
Oh,
loud.
dude,
It was the space.
Yeah, it's the space, and
The windows don't help.
Mike
Mike hits.
Mike goes for it.
Yeah, Mike, he doesn't pull any punches.
So like I was there. We were there for like half an hour, like listening, and then I was like, no. Like
Yeah,
this
my
is
head started
actually gonna-
thumping.
yeah.
It was funny because like my head started pounding, and I was like, and I was sitting there like, man, this is my job. Like I should be used to like loud noises like this. But I was like, I can't take it, so
No,
I went
even-
outside.
Even us be like,
And then I looked back, and like 3 minutes later, Tyler comes outside like, yo, my head hurts. I was like, okay, good. It's not just me.
no, it was all of us. We
Yeah.
were all like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to figure out the logistics of watching our volume.
Yeah.
Tyler brings out these 2 massive amps, like, and then just aims them at the wall. So it's like so many like audio like directionals. It was good, but it was good though. It
Yeah,
was
definitely fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's something. I don't know when we're looking to film, but we're gonna probably have to pony up and invest in like maybe some kind of cardioid like room mic and like a drum pack.
Yeah, definitely gonna need a drum pack.
for the soundtrack.
Yeah,
I
we'll
was
talk
like-
about that later. But yeah, we're definitely gonna need some extra equipment for that.
Yeah, but that's really cool. As I was driving home from dropping Becky off too, like I've had the idea and I've had like the seeds, you know, like I've made a couple frameworks, but last night I really, in my brain, I guess I started putting it together and like getting like the taglines and all the story in between. So she's coming, boys. She's coming real soon.
There you go.
Climbing on the mountain.
other project updates. The cooking show episode 3.
Yep.
We recorded that.
Yep.
So that's on the way.
That's probably. I hope it doesn't turn out like trash, but
No, it's probably pretty good.
Just keep in mind that it was like 7 different people that were recording it behind that camera, so it's gonna be. I think it'll add like a cool element to it.
It'll be fun. I like how I like how we kind of threw the cooking show up in the air as like a demo season too. So it's just like, don't put your hopes up on this thing. So whatever happens.
Yeah, we're trying a bunch of different things with it until we find like a good system that really works.
And we got the vlog too.
The vlog started. Now I don't know how regular and or active the vlog is going to be, but we're gonna try because the three of us interact mostly in the morning, so we'll see what happens.
So this is, if anything, this is the most consistent vlog.
Oh, the Patreon.
Yeah, the
vlog,
Patreon vlog.
Yeah, we set that up. That's starting as well. There's a lot of stuff that's happening at the studio, so we're really gaining speed.
Yeah, it's crazy how these things develop, and it's just like it's like a snowball.
It is. It's organic. It's like the whole point of everything that we do has to be organic, you know. And it's interesting.
Range free.
Yeah, no GMOs. And it's like
what you call me?
No. And it's like it's interesting to see how things develop like spontaneously, like we were talking about like rubber ducks and coffee cups for the Patreon page, and like the idea of like the t-shirts and everything. And it's like there's so many different little ideas that come up out of everything, and picking what we want to work on and not falling into that trap of I'm spreading or we're spreading ourselves too thin, and we're doing like we have our hands in so many different pots. But it's like it's actually working out really well the way that we're developing stuff.
I think the best part is usually we document it and we make sure that we write everything down. Yeah. And we went by this standard of, okay, you have these ideas. Is it feasible to put your hand to the plow? Is it causing you friction? If it's causing you friction, then stop. But if it's just fluid and you can do it, just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was talking yesterday with Becky, and I don't remember if you guys were around or not. No, I think we were just driving, and we were listening to the podcast after we went to the beach, which that was amazing, by the way, guys. I got some nice GoPro footage in the water.
Oh, nice.
Like, so cool. I put the tripod down and like let the waves come in.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. What was I saying? We were talking like that crippling thing where people like they're so afraid to not make it perfect when they start, or like they have this expectation in their head of what it's supposed to be. So when something doesn't go exactly as they thought, like it cripples them and they never get anything accomplished. It's like, no, sometimes you should just go in with zero expectation and just do it and do it again and again and again. And I think I talked about that on the cooking show yesterday. It's like some people get crippled by cooking because they're like, oh, it doesn't look like Gordon Ramsay. Like, I can't do this. It's like, yo, there are people who have been cooking thousands and thousands of meals. Like, go shack up with an old grandma somewhere that, like, I mean, culture back in the day was a little different, like, especially us being Portuguese. Like, think about it. That was their job, is just stay home and, like, cook 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you've cooked thousands of meals, so you got real good.
Yeah.
And so people expect, like, this thing needs to be gourmet, like, and this is the 3rd time I ever tried to do it. It's like, well...
And that
there's
goes
your problem.
Yeah, that goes for everything. It goes for vlogging. It goes for this podcast. It goes for everything. Whatever you try to do, you gotta do it more than once for it to get good. And there are people that I know that still won't start something because they don't want it to look bad at the beginning.
Dude, get the not so good stuff out of the way right in the beginning already, so that you can keep your time, so that you can build a reputation, rather than, like, even if you make something that stinks, like, as long as you keep going and just improve every time you do it, eventually you'll have the right reputation, or the reputation you're looking for.
And people respect it. I think that we overestimate how much people are going to, like, require from a product.
Yes.
Like, it's like, oh, like we make this podcast and people have been commenting and they've been interacting with us, and they're like, they understand that this is something that gains speed over time. And it's the same thing with everything. You're going to paint, you're going to make a vlog, you're going to make videos, you're going to do whatever. It's like, people understand that the first ones are going to be trash. Like, no matter if you're a professional, you're only a professional because you've done multiple different things.
Absolutely.
You're not a professional if you've studied a book for 4 years and done absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
But I know we're almost out of time, but think about it. I mean, the idea for the studio was birthed in December, at the end of December, and it's like by May out the gate we were like let's do this, boys. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the perfect storm because Eric didn't even really know. I think I talked about it with him in theory, and Benji, we've always been transparent. I was like, the day it happened, I was like, dude, this we need to do this. All of these things for our Patreon fans. All of this needs to happen. And then like we had no idea about Eric, and it just like the perfect storm just happened, and then it was like snowball, one after another after another after another. Things just kept coming. It was working and working and working.
Yeah, it was just that one day the thought came in to do this podcast. I was like, we can get the studio started, and it was just like the ducks are here all of a sudden, and yeah,
that's it. All right, so we'll get into the meat and potatoes when we get back. Stay tuned.
We would like to thank Anchor for sponsoring and hosting the Life podcast. So who are Anchor and what do they do? Anchor is the all-in-one platform that gives you everything you need to make and publish your podcast. And best of all, it's all free. Anchor allows you to use their creative tools to record and edit your podcast. No need for any fancy professional equipment. Sounds amazing, right? And we haven't even gotten to the best part. Anchor isn't just a recording and editing platform. They're a publisher too. This means that Anchor takes care of all of the hard stuff, like publishing to Apple and Google Podcasts, so you don't have to. So what are you waiting for? Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Another thanks to Anchor for hosting, publishing, and sponsoring the Life podcast.
What did you buy? I bought stock in Nickelback. I bought all their music rights. You poor thing.
How did that turn out? Yeah.
because that would be like millions.
Yeah.
Like millions of dollars to get that, and I don't know if it would pay you back.
No, it's dead. I mean, if you're not like a bro that grew up in like the early 2000s, like you're not listening to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And
even if you are, I'm not
Like,
I'm sure that the YouTube AdSense is not going to pay you 14 million, 15 million that you paid.
that's shout out to Nickelback.
I want to know how much the guy paid for Taylor Swift's rights, like the rights for.
I'm sure
he
you could.
probably
That's
paid
definitely
a lot of dollars.
I think it's public knowledge.
That's a lot of money, dude.
Like,
We could probably Google that.
Just pull the strings on Taylor Swift, like
Oh, yeah.
dance puppet, dance monkey.
Jeez.
The fact that he controls Ariana Grande's songs, Justin Bieber's songs, and Taylor Swift's songs. So the whole pop industry is basically controlled by this one dude.
But it blows my mind because like Taylor Swift part is like he didn't record that. Like he had nothing to do with that. Like he didn't produce it. He wasn't involved in that. He just like found
it.
Yeah, he just found a window of time that was just like it's for sale. I have the money. Purchase.
Hey, that's it. Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, right. Or buy low and don't sell it all.
Yeah, that guy's gonna make a lot of money. As much as a lot of people don't like Taylor Swift, and as much as like, that's a cash cow if I've ever seen one.
I'm surprised it wasn't like some deranged fan who was like, "All right, Taylor, I got all your rights. Now, have a seat on the couch." Like,
We're gonna record a song today.
oh yes.
Jeez,
All right, so what are we talking about this morning, boys?
I don't even know anymore.
Welcome to the Life podcast.
Oh, we didn't even do an intro.
We started over.
Oh,
No.
we never started technically. Welcome to the Life podcast. My name is Eric. I'm here with Tyler.
Listen, guy, I'm pretty sure 24 episodes in.
Benji.
Hello. Halfway through the episode, the intro, they're gonna be like, they cut the episode in the wrong order. We're gonna get an email, be like, you guys cut it wrong.
Yeah,
it's like,
I
no,
can't wait.
we didn't.
Yeah, I can't wait. This is gonna be good.
Oh yeah.
Someone who sent that email already listened to the last 20 seconds after they sent it. They're like, oh no.
That thing just typed it out eagerly, really fast. Enter. Oh,
We're gonna respond to you with a very polite email.
I'm gonna send you the clip 20 seconds after.
yeah, right.
Oh man. So anybody got the show notes up or?
Yeah, somebody pull it up.
I got you.
I don't
I'll
even know
do
where
it.
my phone.
This is the level that we're at right now. We're just jumping through the show notes. Well, because we talked about 4th of July. We talked about our projects. That's pretty legit.
Fireworks were nice last night, guys. I
Yeah, they were okay.
They were pretty good.
They were nice.
I mean,
I'm surprised
for-
that
for-
I'm like actually not itching
Yeah.
mosquito bites right now.
Oh, it hasn't fermented yet.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say for the level that I'm usually used to, for those fireworks in particular,
Snakes and sparklers.
The level that I'm like used to. You act
well,
like
not level, but I guess like I went to for like the last couple of years to see those fireworks, and,
okay.
and this year was better than the last few
Oh, fair
years.
enough.
So take that information as you will.
with a grain of salt.
I haven't been in years, so
I haven't seen.
the expectations were low, so
Yeah,
so I wasn't disappointed.
I don't remember the last time I went to go see fireworks. I don't remember what it looked like. That's the thing. Like everybody records the fireworks and then nobody watches them.
That,
like,
yeah, those are the least watched. I'm sure,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
like thank you for that Snapchat story of
Fireworks.
that nobody's gonna watch.
The amount of like Snapchat skips that are going on today.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Like yo, it's like I'd never watch those. Absolutely not.
Look at this photograph.
I'm gonna look into it. I'm
Where-
gonna see if we can buy it.
We're gonna lose like viewers if we keep saying photograph.
Well,
It's
just sing every kind of
I
different.
thought you were
photograph
pulling up the
song.
show notes.
I don't want your
What are you doing
photograph. I don't need.
What is happening to this show?
Oh, wait, all right, we gotta.
we talked about okay, we're gonna talk about a topic. Urgency versus importance. Have we talked about that here yet? Tyler's on Snapchat in the middle of the show.
I think we might have briefly did it. Come on, I gotta get the streaks going.
The streaks. Again, the only reason why Snapchat as a company is still alive is because of those streaks.
I don't know why. I don't know
Oh,
why I
man.
was playing the audio.
Yeah, Snapchat has made some interesting decisions in the last year, maybe even 2 years now, that absolutely almost killed them.
Did they sell out
Yes,
to Facebook or
Instagram.
to Instagram?
Instagram.
Isn't
So,
Instagram owned by Facebook?
Facebook owns Instagram. Instagram bought Snapchat. It's
Well,
weird.
listen,
it's a
we,
weird love
we said
triangle.
everybody's got a price. I mean, I'm pretty sure that guy like you can only say no so many times,
Yeah.
kind of deal, and it's like, all right, the number's right. See ya.
Well,
See ya.
yeah, like
Tank this thing.
that's what I would have done. I
Yeah.
would have like if I developed an application that was that good that a company came up to me and was like if Google shows up with a check, there's a fine balance between those things. So like which Instagram was trying to mimic Snapchat, and then they failed miserably by doing the stories and everything like that. So they had to buy Snapchat. Where it's like if you're dealing with a big entity like Google, you might actually just get swallowed. They might like just make an app that's better than yours. So there's a fine
Yeah.
line to dance there.
Especially because at that level of competition and that level of finance competition, like granted, Snapchat was doing okay financially, but if you're gonna compare apples for apples financially to like a Facebook or even Instagram, like you're completely outweighed. They can mimic and recreate what you've already created and possibly make it better. And there's just that chance where like, do you really want to risk it? Because if they were to make something better, then they don't need you anymore. They're not going to pay you anymore. And then you just kind of lay out to the wayside. And so I understand the sellout on that. I probably would have done the same thing, to be honest.
I would have sold for the first time around that they asked.
Yeah, like
wipe my hands. I caught the fish for the day, man. I'm going home and spending time with my family. I'm
Absolutely,
done.
Yeah.
especially since you got the profit for all the time that you were there. You know, you're getting a fat check from Google, you know, or from Facebook. It's like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'll buy an island out in Maui. Like, let's rock and roll, guys.
absolutely.
Well, start with that one in New Bedford Harbor first.
Oh
Yeah, right.
Buy
Yeah,
the
yeah,
island,
yeah.
8 million.
Monkey Island.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still at 8 million. Last time I looked, it was 8 million for an island.
I say we offer him 6. See where it goes.
See where it goes. Like, who's gonna say no?
And just for the fact of Independence Day, like, come on. Like, just because we annexed an island from like the United States, the city of New Bedford, and started our own government on like a half square foot island.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with that? That's what you did. We're following your example.
Yeah.
We're like, England. Hey,
Hey,
check this.
watch this.
We out. We done. You have any questions? Talk to the gun.
Yeah, I'm sure that would go very well. We'd all end up in jail.
Within minutes.
Yeah, not very short time.
But it's like, well, what did you do? That you're
free
saying
for
that's
about-
illegal? Why did you do it? Like, I'm following your example.
They
I'm
wouldn't
sure
even
that'd
call
go-
the military. We just get arrested by the normal police. Like,
They'll come in one of those fancy police boats that we saw yesterday.
oh yeah. I didn't know we had the budget for those.
What?
The police boats.
Oh yeah. Well,
Those-
they only pull them out for special occasions.
Apparently so.
Yeah, it's not like they're out there on regular patrol.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure instead of like the police boat, you could like repave that little section in front of Stop and Shop on Tarkin Hill. Like, dude, that is a rumble strip. Like, it almost puts my truck. If you have to accelerate over it, like, it almost puts my truck sideways. It's crazy.
Sound like old men. Like, you know what they should have done with that money for the boats, guy? They should have paved the road.
Anyways, all right. So show notes. If we, I feel like we're having kind of a productive
We're
conversation.
doing all right. Well, Benji brought up what was it? Urgency
versus importance.
Yeah. So, what's your opinion on that? Yeah, take that.
Do you think?
Okay. Well, we talked about the example that was given to me was the concept of a telephone. A phone rings, and there's a difference between urgency and importance. So it's urgent. A phone is always urgent. Urgent meaning there's only a certain amount of time that you have before you can't answer it again. So it starts at a random time and it ends X amount of seconds later, and that's the urgency factor. So you have to make a decision within a certain amount of time, or else you don't have the ability to make that decision anymore. Now, the call can be important or it can be non-important. And people have a big problem like integrating those things into their lives and really like understanding the difference between those things, because sometimes people will have decisions that are important but not urgent, or important and urgent, but they have things that are urgent in their lives and they automatically assume that they're important too.
Yeah, and I definitely can understand that. I've seen that a whole bunch. Like, just because the fact there was urgency, it will cause this mental strain or this physical strain because it turns into important just because it's urgent. It's like, oh, I always have to answer the phone every time it rings. Oh God.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, calm down. I'm pretty sure if it's actually important, they'll call back, or they'll like contact you another way.
Yeah. This is kind of a little off topic, but it's just like I have like a 2 call on my phone. If you're not on my favorites list, like on my favorite contacts, like if I don't think if you call me a lot, whatever, you'll end up on my favorites list. But but if you're outside of the favorites list, you'll call me once and it won't ring. You have to call me a second time within a few minutes in order for it to go
just
through.
on do not disturb.
Yeah, it's just the do not disturb settings. But if you put it on your favorites, it'll ring through. So
that's cool.
So so I have you guys on my
I gotta
favorites.
work on that. I gotta do that.
Yeah. So and that really that filtered out so many calls for me. You know what I mean? Because if it's a phone call that it's like not really that important, and they can leave a message. You know what I mean? And I'll get back to them after. Or if it is important, they'll call me back within a couple of minutes, and then I can pick up.
Importance versus urgency. Think about it. Like, somebody sends you a meme at 2:00 in the morning, and you're like your
Wakes you up.
Always important.
always important. Yeet.
Yeet. Always down for a meme at the AM.
Out of a dead sleep, just wake up. Ha! Okay.
Funny.
Just
Right.
go back to sleep. Just no response.
I can see that. Well, actually,
Please don't send me memes at
what-
2 a.m.
what's that?
If I was up at 2 a.m.
What's that cartoon?
What cartoon?
The jam with the aliens, the space people.
Strange Planet.
Yeah, Strange Planet. Listen, if you send me a Strange Planet at like 2:30 in the morning, I will gladly.
Oh, Strange Planet.
I will gladly roll over and read that. That's Eric's favorite. We all know.
Yeah. Those 2 or 3 that I was like, all right, they're all right. But that's a very corny.
No,
Eric, that's the point.
Yeah.
It's so corny.
The point is it's supposed to be dumb.
Get off.
I get
Get
it.
off. Get off the show.
Get off this shit. You can't exile me.
Get out of your studio.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, they're all right. There's like 2 or 3 of them that I did give it a chuckle, but you
Listen.
guys like it way more than I do.
Listen,
We do.
Yeah.
in the wake of Independence Day, we hereby annex
Jeez.
all of you are banished. Talk to the gun.
For all of you listening to this show, I'll try to put it in the show notes, but the comic strip is called Strange Planet by Nathan Peele, I believe.
Amazing.
It's legit. Actually.
So dry. If you don't have a dry sense of humor, though, it's not gonna communicate. You'll be like, oh, this is a little too smart.
Yeah, Nathan Pyle. He has a Patreon, so definitely go and support him if you have.
Yeah,
the
go support him, but
opportunity.
not until you support us first.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking we should sow a seed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's legit. I've been wanting to join his Patreon for a while, so I might do that. But nonetheless, he's a great comic strip. Definitely go and check it out if you get the chance.
All right, so importance and urgency. Anything else before we round this one up?
So this right here, it's just important for you to go check out that comic strip. It's important for you to subscribe to our Patreon page. It's important to do all of these wonderful things. It's important to tell your friends about the podcast. Now, the urgency of those things is relative to your situation.
You can do it right now.
If you're sitting in bed just listening to the podcast, you can pick up your phone and the urgency is higher. You know, if you're at the bank making a deposit, it's probably not super important that you do this right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. I like that. Good job, Benji. But what I was gonna throw into that is like marketers know this. You know what I mean? They understand how urgency can play into a decision. If you're ever on a website and they're like, only 2 left.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or sale ends in 10 minutes.
I gotta buy it. Or I mean, that's a car salesman thing too, because they know that you're itchy to buy a new car. You're excited. I know we're gonna have a whole episode on this one day, but they'll feed on your emotions and they'll play on that emotion.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll take advantage of that urgency that you have, knowing that they set an urgency, like this fake urgency.
That's really what it is. Absolutely.
And it urgency alters decisions. You'll make a quick decision that you didn't really think about because you thought it was urgent.
And it's not always urgent. It provokes a lot of emotion too.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you start putting emotion,
it brings adrenaline a little bit into it. You know what I mean? Now you're like, oh, I can't miss out on this deal, and then all of a sudden it's like, I got ripped off.
Yeah,
I can think about it in terms of you can think about it in sports. Like in practice, you can do something real good, but the adrenaline of the real game and knowing that it's real, boys, you'll get cloudy. You're running, you can't see anything because you're so amped, you're so hyped. Or in music too, you can do something in practice that's great, but the minute it's actually like put up or shut up,
yeah,
you get butterflies, you get nervous, and you I hope this communicates.
Absolutely, that sense of adrenaline, it becomes like a numbing feeling, in a way where like you become so hyper focused, I guess. So it's like you don't even think about like for the situation of like spending money, and you get hyper focused on the sale that's gonna end in 10 minutes that you don't even think about the other bills you have anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you that adrenaline. That's what adrenaline does for you. You hyper focus on what's going on at that very moment.
Or even sometimes like the adrenaline. Just I know the Ducks are here, but that last little thing of like getting behind a mic, the adrenaline of even though you can have a wonderful conversation off a mic, you change because it's like, oh, it's go time. It's put up or shut up, and everybody's gonna hear it. So subconsciously in the back of your brain, the conversations you have on mic are a little different because you have that element of adrenaline and knowing that like what you say now matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're gonna talk more about this when we get back from the break. Stay tuned.
Oh, it's mine. Okay, that's fine. I didn't.
Practical
Yeah,
application.
right. You get up on the mic. Practical application.
That was it. That was all I wanted to say. That's it. That was my contribution to this conversation.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a abridged version. See you later.
I like how we say tuning in too. Like we all have said it over the time. It's like somebody's like on a radio, like, oh look, it's the Life podcast.
Thanks for
And maybe that'd be
tuning-
actually an interesting thing to look into.
What's that?
Getting like just put it on a radio station.
Jeez.
That's so salty.
Yeah, no. No, like just like in general, not like around here.
Okay. All right.
Like in like
I mean,
Ohio.
We could look into like I don't know how radio stations. I don't know if they do like, pay for pre-recorded stuff, content, like almost like a TV network would do. You would pay a program, pay a network to put out your product. I wonder if the radio station would do that, like put out like a.
Well, radio has this monopoly thing now called iHeartRadio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
It basically standardized. Like you can see, like especially in like the rock genre, that was like the absolute last nail in the coffin for rock, where you hear the same 20 songs all day, but they're songs from like the 80s and 90s, but it's the same 20 songs.
Yeah.
And they don't get anything different. You don't get anything out of the artist category. And I think that being part of that iHeart Radio whatever association they're trying to be like, oh well, every station who's part of the iHeart radio station sounds exactly the same, so that wherever you go, you get the same experience. When it's like, yo, like this is terrible.
There's it's dangerous on the radio to play the exact same songs again and again. Like you listen to a radio station, it's the same 10 songs.
The idea of a radio station is supposed to be like the consumer is supposed to be in control. And that was the original idea, where you're supposed to phone in what you like and what you don't like, and the radio will play what you like and what you don't like. If you don't phone in that you don't like it, they're gonna keep playing what you don't like.
It doesn't even matter phoning in. Like, I mean, there'd be certain times where like DJs could play whatever they want and be like, hey, this is a B-side on the back of such and such album that nobody's ever heard of before, and be like, wow, that's really cool. I'm sure people that are listening really enjoyed that, because if I enjoyed it, then I'm sure they enjoyed it. But
yeah, they don't even take that risk anymore.
Tyler's like, I've called every radio station in the area. They won't change their songs.
Right. I need the B side of Take On Me, all right? My life's not complete.
It's like, I'm not going to pay for the Spotify subscription, so do it. Play the record.
And that's the thing, too, is like now with like music streaming, there's so much control in the fingertips of like everybody. So much control that people end up just going on they create their own stations on Pandora, and it just replays the same 20 songs anyways.
Yeah, because nobody's going to deal with it. Nobody's going to deal, like, if I don't like a song on the radio, I'm not going to, like, this is just a societal thing. I'm not going to sit through a song on the radio that I don't like.
Absolutely.
Like, I flip through.
You don't have to anymore.
Yeah, I don't have to. I flip through a couple stations. If nothing's on, bang, turn on the Bluetooth, Spotify, yell at Siri to start a song. Like, that's it. Like, that's Siri! Yeah, just starts screaming at Siri, and she starts playing music. Like, it's not like I can talk to this little box, this little rectangle in my car, and music will start happening. Like, it's not a hard concept.
Yeah, no, it is 2019. It is a different era, in a good way.
All right, what's the time look like, boys?
No, we didn't start it.
Oh, goody.
I'll deal with this.
You want to talk about some practical application, how to balance your life, and talk about urgency and importance, and really order priorities?
I definitely recommend what I said earlier about your phone. There was one point where my phone was like in control of a lot, subconsciously in control of my life, like where I would be like in the middle of like actually being productive, and then my phone would go off. It would just be a text message like ding, and then that takes you away from what you're doing,
or just notification, new songs on Spotify,
something, anything really. And then you look at your phone and you look at it, and then you register whatever it was. Oh, that wasn't important. You put it back in your pocket, and now it takes you another 30 seconds to get back into what you were doing, or maybe even longer if it's a rough day. And that taking you in and out, especially out of the creative process, it can be detrimental to the actual product. So I recommend personally is don't let your phone control you. You have to be in control of your phone.
I really like that.
And what I do is I use Do Not Disturb on iPhone to my advantage. I don't know what Android has, but you could probably find something on there that's equivalent. But definitely taking control of your phone in that way, so that when notifications can just be on, and just check your phone every hour, every half hour, but be in control of when you look at your phone, and don't let your phone tell you when to look at it.
That's an urgency versus importance thing too, where it's all like the messages are all urgent. They're well, no, not necessarily. They're there. They
go
pop
off,
up. Yeah, they're not necessarily important. They can be important. You can have very important messages, or you could have just messages that are like, haha, look at this little meme.
Yep.
That's not relevant.
That's very important.
Yeah, fair enough.
Memes are always important.
Let me stop my workflow to look at this meme that you sent me. I know somebody. We've talked about CGP Grey for a lot on this show, who is so mad at the concept that anybody can call him. He's all like, how is it possible that nobody has made a system where I can block everyone but who's in my contacts? He's like, why is this still a thing in 2019 where it's like somebody can call me and ruin my workflow? Because he's very like, this is the same guy who bought multiple different iPads so that his brain would like connect the concept of like work and play and like all those different things. So like getting a call in the middle of like his workday messes him all up. So he's like, what is this going on?
Back in the day, throw it back. It's like 212-330-8004.
Call me. Okay.
Hey,
Benji is so confused.
What?
That is Mike Jones, Benji.
Who?
Google Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones.
Okay.
And
Wow.
welcome back to like 2001.
That was 2001 in a nutshell.
I don't know. I don't know when that came
No,
out.
maybe 2005. I don't remember.
Next next
the-
trivia set. Yeah, probably like 2005. I'm
Yeah, I
thinking
would
about
say
like when it
2005.
happened in high school. Like I was probably like a freshman or a
Oh
sophomore.
man! So there was a hip hop artist by the name of Mike Jones
Okay.
who blew up out of nowhere, and I mean out of nowhere. And he made an entire album called what was it? I think it was called that. It was called like Mike Jones,
I was
and the
never-
entire album of compilation, of maybe 15 songs, was him saying his own name.
Who?
And followed by
Jones. Mike Jones.
every song had at one point, like every line, he would throw in Mike Jones, and needless to say, he only made one album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the radio hit had his he
Had his
put
phone
his
number.
legit phone number in it. I wonder how many people actually
We
called
could
it.
call it right now.
Or I mean, we can throw back to all of our
Or
older
we
listeners.
could not do that.
You have
Say it.
Thank you.
Mike Jones?
Yo, oh man, that'd be great. But
Hey, Mike. But I mean, you have like Jenny too. 86753 yeah.
That one I remember.
How many people do you think call that
A lot of
a day?
people.
oh, absolutely.
What do you think that costs to buy the rights to that? I mean, there's like Gem Plumbing or something that has 8675309.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Genius.
in Rhode Island. It's like, well,
Genius.
think about it. It's 401 8675309.
So yeah, they could put any area code in front
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
I would actively not use that phone number. Like, if I was a corporation, I would be like, if I was Verizon, I'd be like, well, 8675309 is done. Like,
We can't use
can't
that
give
number.
that one away anymore. Like, imagine that's your phone number, and when that song comes out, and then for the next 3 weeks, it's like, it's like all day long, you're getting phone calls.
They should just retire them like the jerseys at the
Yeah, just have retired numbers. You can't use that one.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just on a Hall of Fame somewhere.
Yo.
Imagine how trippy that would be. Like, if you're like listening to like a song for the first time and somebody says your phone number, like they're like 86, like, and you're like, what? Like, that's what-
That sounds familiar.
yeah.
I knew I like this song.
Oh, I gotta throw the whole phone out.
Your phone just like convulses from all the calls happening.
Yo. Oh man.
Anyways,
That was good.
you got
That's
anything? You got
unfortunate.
anything, Benj? Urgency,
About
importancy?
urgency and importance. Oh, the idea that sometimes when we pass the point of urgency, all motivation like ceases for that thing, and a lot of this is like with dishes a lot, or at least for me, where it's all like where I'm like, oh, I gotta do those dishes. Okay, I gotta do it by this day or by this time.
I'm telling your parents.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They listen to this show.
Yeah, that'd be alright.
They have no delusions about the cleanliness of my house. There's like, oh, I gotta do these dishes. Okay, but I'm gonna do the dishes before I go and do something. Okay, and then you don't do that thing, and then that's it. Like, all motivation goes out the window because you're like, oh, I missed my deadline, so now there's no real point to doing them. You
Yeah.
know?
Fair enough.
All right, so now out of the confessional, what can you do as a practical?
I can go home and wash my dishes before this podcast gets published.
Actually, I gotta go home and finish the rest of the dishes from last
Yeah,
night.
we made some
Tyler
messed up.
bought a washing machine.
A dishwasher. Yeah, but the washing machine.
Yeah,
that came with the house.
Portuguese.
No, Eric. It was us, right? We moved the dishwasher into the basement.
Yeah.
I brought it into the basement to hook it up to the sink that the washing machine drains into, and it has like a spigot like for water on it. But I guess the size of the threads on the spigot from the washing machine is bigger than the hookup. Like, because it's the dishwasher's made to like go over like a conventional faucet.
Yep.
Rather than like the bigger end. So I gotta try to figure out some kind of adapter so that we can actually use it.
You gotta
That's
run a
rough.
hose to this to your house.
That's rough.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Home
We'll spend
Depot.
like 3 hours at Home Depot again.
That worked out well. At least it worked out well. But yes, don't necessarily like. It's important not to lose motivation after a deadline's gone. Like, deadlines are important because they
that
give
happens
you.
to me a lot. Like if I set up, like, especially depending on where I set up the deadline, like on my, like, usually I use my phone to my advantage, but like the reminder system on iPhone, it does not work for me.
No, that doesn't work for me. That stinks.
Yeah, so what happens is, like, I'll have a deadline, it'll go off, I'll see it, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I missed that, and then it'll go off for the next 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I'll just keep hitting like later, or remind me later, whatever it is. And then before I know it, it's like 3 weeks have gone by. I still haven't done this. So I think that in a practical sense, like if you do fall into that trap, try different ways of making it a priority. You know what I mean? You different mind things that you could do in order to make that a priority, or even just make it like a habit. Like I have to do this before I leave the house. Like I have to make my bed before I go into the shower. It just has to happen.
Right,
like
and being proactive. I think the hardest thing for me when it comes to that is something like hitting snooze.
Oh yeah.
And we talk about the snooze button.
Oh,
Like don't
geez,
procrastinate, hit snooze. But like being in that vulnerable state and being in that like that slumber, that really like mental unalertness, it's like it's so easy to just bang.
It's almost like a muscle memory sometimes.
Bang, to the point where you don't even, your brain doesn't even register, and like you've hit snooze 5 times, and you haven't even like registered the thought of, oh, I gotta get up.
Think of all the times you've turned off your alarm and not remembered that you turned off the alarm. Like,
absolutely.
It's like happens all the time. It's like the iPhone didn't randomly just decide not to, like that happened to me a couple days ago. It was all like I just slept right through it. Like I must have just banged, and I have 2, not even just 1. It just like done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Double tap.
Double tap.
I've done it too. I think we've all done that, and when your subconscious mind and muscle memory, it'll just go to it. Where there's been times I thought I hit the snooze button, fell back asleep. I actually hit the off button.
Shut it off.
Yeah, and then like all of a sudden it's an hour later, and that's like granted I needed that hour of sleep, but I mean we got stuff to do.
Yeah. Clock don't stop, boys. We gotta max it out.
Importance versus urgency. I really think sitting down and getting sober with your priorities and putting your priorities in order so that it determines the actual like importance, and then you can understand what the real urgency is. And that really order of priorities defines it all.
Yeah,
because if your priorities are out of whack, then everything holds the same weight. That's a problem.
Yeah, and then everything is urgent, and then you end up running around in circles trying to get everything done, and then you end your day like, wow, I didn't accomplish anything I wanted to accomplish.
What do you mean?
I did a lot.
I got a notification. I have to finish setting up my phone. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Pandora has new songs. Oh, I gotta press it. Like,
yeah.
and then there's the intro cut.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh man. But you think about it, like how many times have you been going to do something, right? You're heading over there, and then someone says something, and you answer that question, you forget what you were just doing.
Yeah.
You know, and this is like what it happens if you're like in any situation, like I'm gonna go and do this. All of a sudden, something happens that's not really important, but it was urgent at that moment because it happened. Someone called your name, something like that. You look at them and you take your focus away from what you were doing, and then you look back and you're like, what was I doing? And then you waste the next minute, and then actually most of the time you're like, oh, whatever, and you turn around, you start walking back to where you were, and then it reminds yourself, oh yeah, I need to do this. You turn back around. I'm not saying like, oh, big deal. I know it's just like 30 seconds. Yeah, I get it, but those things add up. Right? You know what I mean? You do that for a year's worth of time every day. That's a whole day's worth of productivity.
Yeah, and if you have anxiety, that's a real easy way to start taming your anxieties. Like understand urgency versus importance.
Absolutely.
It's saying like, okay, now that I have my order of priorities, I won't get overwhelmed because I'm bombarded by all these things. It's like if they're not important, then they don't matter.
It's also important to realize that just because something's important to someone doesn't mean that it's important to you.
Yes.
Like, okay, Eric says this thing is important. Like, okay, that means now I have to be super tuned in and it has to be super important to me. And it's like, no, it's important to Eric. It's urgent to Eric. That doesn't mean it's important to me or it's urgent to me. You know, that's Eric's life. You know, a lot of times we get stuck on this idea of like, oh no, like I got to do this thing because somebody said it was super important. And it's like, no, it's not important. It's like,
right. Don't let somebody else drive your life.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what it is. It's like, I needed this to be done yesterday, so I need you to act yesterday. And it's like, yo, like who are you to tell me that because you needed this and your procrastination now just fell into my lap? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
People look for like this one size fits all thing. So they go on YouTube like how to be successful and how do I manage my time better.
Easy, buy low, sell high.
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, there it is. But everyone looks like for this one size fits all method that like, oh, it's just this one way to do it and this is the way that worked for them, so it's going to work for me too. And it's not necessarily true. Everyone has their own process. Everyone has different levels of importance. Everyone has a different life. You know what I mean? You have different people in your life and different things. Some people have animals they have to take care of. Some people don't. It's like all these things weigh into your level of importance. If you you have a dog, you have to feed it. That's important. If you don't have a dog, you don't have to feed it. That's not important. It's not a one size fit all. So it's just remember that your life is unique to you. You can take advice in other avenues to like, oh, that would be good if I implemented that into my life, or that would be useless to me. It'd be useless for me to shave every morning if I don't have a beard. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. It's not one size fits all. So be very aware of what's important to you, and then decide on what's urgent and control the forces that tell you it's urgent.
All right, and that's it.
And here are the ducks.
Wow. It's like you guys know. Thank you for listening to the Life Podcast Show. We really appreciate all your support. We meet every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning just to talk and share our perspectives on everyday life situations. If you haven't already, please share this with your friends and give them a chance to join the conversation. Also, if you liked what you heard today, rate our podcast. The higher the rating, the longer we can keep this going. And a special thanks to our future sponsors that will soon partner with us on this journey. If anyone would like to contact us, please email us at thelifepodcastshow@gmail.com. One word. That's thelifepodcastshow@gmail.com. Be blessed and have a wonderful day. Wonderful day.